So this is an example of a brand, and actually behind Crucial is Micron, right? And you have three major memory companies. You have Samsung, you have SK Hynix, and you have Micron. So when a company like Micron with their consumer side of things, and their products are Crucial products, and I own a few of those actually, and I reviewed a number of them, a lot of them back in the day when I started doing all this in the year 2000. And speaking of that, boy, memory wasn't cheap back then either. I think it was like $1 per megabyte back then, but I digress. Anyway, before I continue, you can help me out if you like this kind of content by doing what's free up here. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and of course, comment. Now, Crucial, of course, is like a lot of companies, and they're concerned about the bottom line, money, and shareholders. So they're going to chase that rainbow, right, and go right to the pot of gold if they can. And that pot of gold right now, obviously, is AI. But they have betrayed us. There's no other way to put this. They've totally betrayed consumers. And like this article indicates here, and by the way, I will link to this in the YouTube description down below, Crucial could have been the brand to help consumers with RAM and storage costs, not make them worse. And they've made them worse. They're going to make them much worse. Going into 2026, my goodness, God only knows how much, for example, a 32 or 64 gigabyte kit of DDR5 is going to cost. Could be, who knows, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And you say, that's not going to be the case. Well, look at what happened, for example, with GPU prices. And GPU prices now are pretty much MSRP. They're also going to go up because almost everything has memory in it. And all these companies, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Crucial, they're focusing on AI. Now, I guess the big question for a lot of people is, well, okay, fine, go ahead and make a ton of money with AI and all the rest of it, but couldn't you keep the consumer happy? Couldn't you keep the Crucial consumer brand? I'm sure they could have, but for whatever reason, well, they said basically, we're not going to help you guys out with RAM and storage costs, because actually Crucial was probably the best out of the big three, which would be Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. It was best positioned to probably help us out with rising costs, but nah. Why would we do that? I mean, you guys made us, but who cares about you guys? I mean, it's really despicable, but business is ruthless, I guess, and that's just the way it is. Things will swing back, though, at some point. They will actually swing back around. When will that be? Who knows? So Micron's official statement was this. It cited AI-driven growth and a decision to exit the Crucial consumer business in order to improve supply and support for our larger strategic customers in faster growing segments.